Let's move to bowl season now because it begins on Friday. 7 bowls happening Friday and Saturday, and then they'll get out of the way for NFL Sunday. You're going to give us some under-the-radar bowl games over the next couple of weeks to keep an eye on. And let's start with Saturday's Boca Bowl featuring the most prolific quarterback in college football in Western Kentucky's Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, both of these programs, both Western Kentucky and App State, made it to their conference championship games, just falling short, each of them in very, very entertaining, thrilling, close conference championship games. So in terms of the caliber of team, this is not some 6-6 squad that's been a little hit and miss and not all consistent. No, these are championship caliber teams, and both of them have very, very good offenses. You mentioned Bailey Zappi, one of the most prolific quarterbacks in the entire country, but Chase Bryce, after a disappointing showing at Duke, has also been pretty solid for an App State team that I do think is a little bit more well-rounded in the way they've got the run game and the defense as well. You know, I look and break this down and I wonder, can Western Kentucky with all of its offense be able to snap App State's streak? What streak, you ask? Never lost. App State, which just recently moved to the FBS level, has never lost a bowl game. Can App State stay perfect in the postseason at the FBS level? We'll watch in what is going to be one of the really entertaining games of the early bowl season.
And there are several of them, Chip, as we continue here with your bowl matchups to keep an eye on that are kind of under the radar. Independence Bowl, number 13 BYU facing UAB. Not often a top 15 team goes to Shreveport, Chip.
BYU is going to have much, much better bowl tie-ins when it gets to the Big 12. This is a step down for the number 15 team in the country. But I expect that Kalani Sitake is going to have this group uniquely motivated because you could, in winning this game, have a second straight 11-win season. And I think that UAB is going to be a really good, tough test for this BYU offense. I mean, we look at UAB. This is the number 1 defense in Conference USA going up against a BYU offense that ranks in the top 10 nationally in terms of yards per play. Jaron Hall was very, very good taking over for Zach Wilson. The sophomore running back Tyler Allegier has been great down the stretch of the season. And so the Cougars, which have been, as their ranking says, one of the best teams in the entire country, what are they going to bring in terms of a level of focus? This is where my trust is in Sitake and in that coaching staff to make sure that they are fired up for this game. UAB is going to make it really tough on that good Cougars offense. I think the better team, BYU, will end up winning, but it's going to be a great, great matchup when BYU has the ball specifically.
BYU, the first ranked team to play in the Independence Bowl in 24 years. A week from tomorrow, we've got the Frisco Bowl, a 12-win team against an 11-win team. I mean, when you go outside the playoff, you rarely find matchups like this.
Yeah, San Diego State is going to be an awesome matchup in the trenches against UTSA. UTSA running back Sincere McCormick, one of the best players in Conference USA all season. And UTSA, as we followed the Roadrunners through their undefeated start, only coming just a bit short of a perfect regular season, losing in the last game of the year against North Texas. But both of these teams, finished a little bit rocky. San Diego State, so disappointed with the way that it lost to Utah State in that Mountain West championship game. UTSA, on the other hand, winning a thriller against Western Kentucky in the Conference USA championship game. The way that UTSA wins is by being big and winning at the line of scrimmage. And the way that San Diego State wins, well, in addition to Matt Ariza, the punt god, it is with its defense and trying to make sure that you cannot push them around. So that matchup right there, the physicality that I expect both these teams to bring to it, how close and competitive they are, as you mentioned, based on the success that they've had this season, I think it'll be low scoring, and I think it'll be extremely entertaining when these two square off.
23 combined wins. That's the most for any bowl game outside of the 2 college football playoff semis. All right, Holiday Bowl. Why should we be interested in this one?
2 great quarterbacks, UCLA's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, NC State's Devin Leary. For UCLA, this feels like the culmination of Chip Kelly's opening chapter. When Oregon opened up, I and others wondered, hey, is Chip Kelly going to be headed off to Oregon to run it back, have a little reunite with Phil Knight? No. He is still in Westwood, and now we get to see, after making the postseason for the first time as the UCLA's head coach, we get to see what Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Zach Charbonnet all have. So it's like the culmination of a chapter. For NC State, this could be a preview of a 2022 season that is going to have as much hype and expectations as we've seen in Raleigh for a long time. Devin Leary, tons of the stars from this NC State team, they are all coming back. And it has been a surprise, the number of players who could be off to the NFL and have all decided that they want to return for one more season. They're all talking about that unfinished business mantra, Chris. And I'm excited to see whether or not this game for NC State, whether it serves as a launching point, because a statement win against UCLA would be a great way to really sort of fire up the offseason narratives around a group that I do think is going to be the biggest challenger to Clemson in the ACC Atlantic Division in 2022.
Speaking of Clemson, they're in the Cheez-It Bowl, and it's a matchup between two teams that spent multiple weeks in the top 10 this season.
Yeah, I know that you're going to come at me and say, why are you excited about two teams that are not in a bowl game where they wanted to be? They both wanted to be, in the New Year's Six, maybe even in the college football playoff. But I think this is a fantastic time to check in on our coaches, because Dabo Swinney, Matt Campbell, you do have a unique challenge ahead of you. I think there might be some opt-outs in this game, but these are two coaches that have built up their programs with very, very impressive depth. Both of these coaches like to say that their programs are set for good player development. And so for the Clemson side of things, we are replacing Tony Elliott at offensive coordinator, Brent Venables at defensive coordinator. Have those staff changes taken place? How does DJ Uiagalelei look in this game after falling short of expectations during the season? I think that this is a very interesting time to look at both of these groups after not meeting all of their goals during the season. What do you show up to this bowl game with? I think that kind of gut check is something that is really fascinating in terms of a reflection of the health of the program and the mindset of the program. And, the way that Matt Campbell has been so impressive and is still in Ames after yet another coaching carousel, I've got to think that those Cyclone players that do end up suiting up, they're going to be trying to bring their best. Like that Tiger Paw might not have been up in the top 10 or up in the top 5 all season like we're used to, but I think Iowa State would love to be able to hold a bowl game win against Clemson as something to take into the offseason.
First bowl game Friday, noon Eastern, Bahamas Bowl, Middle Tennessee and Toledo. Chip Patterson, host of the Cover 3 podcast, with us as we gear up for bowl season. Listen to Chip and our college football gang on the Cover 3. Download and follow wherever you get your audio.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.